As we near the end of our chapter on financial mathematics, we have two formulas that we're using. One is a future value formula and one is a present value formula. So I want us to understand the difference between the formulas and when to use which one. So we're going to look at, in this situation, context of retirement planning. So in the blue is pre-retirement. So this is when we're saving money. So you see all the dollar signs going into the retirement fund. This is where we would use the future value. We are paying in, so we're increasing the balance. Now, at the moment of retirement, when we stop paying in, but we haven't yet received any payments from our retirement account, the future value is equal to the present value. And then in retirement, so I have the peaceful green color because we're retired. You see the money, the dollar signs are all coming out of the account. The balance of the account is decreasing, and so we would use the present value formula. So this is post-retirement. This is when we're spending the money that we saved. So let's look at some retirement planning and see if we can figure out what's going on. And so here's our scenario. We're planning for retirement. We plan to retire at age 70. We're going to guess that we're going to live to age 90, so we have a 20-year retirement. We have calculated that we're going to need $30,000 annually to live on. And we found this company, Lincoln Benefit Life, that offers 6.5% annuity compounded annually. So, what we need to figure out is what type of problem and then what formula to use. So we need to calculate how much money should we have saved up so that we can actually retire. And so in order to do that, we want to use the present value formula. Our payment is going to be the $30,000. So it's going to pay us $30,000. So we're going to use this formula and plug in numbers from above. So the present value is equal to payment of $30,000, and this is annually. We have our fraction 1 minus parenthesis 1 plus. Our rate here is compounded annually, so we would divide that by 1, which we don't have to write out, 0.065. And this is to the negative, and we're going to have 20 years of retirement, so the negative 20. All of our interest rate, 0.065. So again, I suggest you pause the video and put this into your calculator and make sure that you know how to get to the calculation. So we found that the present value, carefully following order of operations on our calculator, is $330,555.22. So that's how much we need in this account the moment we retire. So now the next part of the problem is to figure out how much should we be paying into the account. So we're going to move to the pre-retirement. So I have this in blue. This is where we want to be using the future value. What is going to be the future value of the account? So we have the same retirement planning information, except we've added that we need this amount that we calculated on the previous page, and that we're currently age 40. So because it's in blue, because we are paying in this, so in order to calculate this, we actually want to know not what the future value is, because we have that calculated, but what the payment is. And so we'll use our formula, payment. Ooh, let me change my pen color. That's not very easy to see. Equals, well, the future value is this amount that we need, $330,555.22. And then we have the interest rate, so 0.065, and then in the denominator 1 plus 0.065, and we need an n value. So for our n value, we're currently 40 years old. It says that we're going to retire at age 70, so subtracting those, that means we have 30 years to make payments before we retire. And then we have the minus 1 in the formula. Again, I recommend to you that you stop the recording at this moment and do this on your calculator so that you're sure you can work through the order of operations. And when we do that, we'll find that this means we need to pay in $3,826.98. So as long as we pay in this much each year for the next 30 years, we will meet our goal and have this $330,555.22 at retirement. And then from that moment on, this will be depleted by paying out $30,000 per year. And that's all based on this idea that we would be retired for 20 years. Now, if our retirement doesn't last for the 20 years, the account won't be at zero, and so there would be some left over as an inheritance for someone. And so that's why we name a beneficiary on the account in case we don't meet our expectations. If we live beyond 90, then we would run out of money on this account before we pass on.